Historic homes, oak trees that have stood for centuries, and one of Salem's most beautiful parks right at your doorstep. That's the life in the Bush Park neighborhood. Today I'm sharing what it's really like to live here, from the historic Bush House and Rose Gardens to the charming homes and local lifestyles that make up one of Salem's most unique communities. And if you're thinking about making the move to Salem, Oregon, this just might be the neighborhood that ultimately convinces you to do so. It's located in the south central portion of Salem, centered around Bush Pasture Park. This neighborhood is easily walkable or bikeable or a short drive to our charming downtown in Salem, and it puts you really close to cultural iconic venues like the Elsinore Theater, the Grand Theater, and all of the great restaurants and shopping that we have here in the downtown area. It is a mix of long-term residents, families, professionals, people who love the historic value of the neighborhood and want to be surrounded by community and green space. In this video, I'm going to talk about the character of the neighborhood, the park itself, the day-to-day lifestyle, real estate snapshot, and if you wait till the end, I'm going to also discuss some of the things that you may want to be aware of before making the move to this particular neighborhood. All right, first we're going to go over the character and a little bit of the historic charm of this neighborhood and what makes it so appealing. Now, when you drive through this neighborhood, right off the bat, you're going to notice it is one of the more unique neighborhoods and unlike most any other neighborhoods that we have here in Salem, Oregon. Most of the homes here were built in the early 1900s, have the Craftsman, Queen Anne, Colonial Revival, and bungalow-style homes. Most of these homes have been meticulously maintained, but there are also a lot of opportunities to find homes that are a little bit in disrepair and revitalize them and revive them back to their historic charm. This is the neighborhood where you drive through it, it almost feels like it's a storybook, especially in the spring when the flowers are blooming. A lot of people in this neighborhood take really good care of their landscaping, and there are a ton of old growth oak trees, again, adding to that charm of this neighborhood. Another added value of having these streets tree lined with the old growth oak trees and other types of trees is that you get constant shade. And that does come in handy during the summer because we can get some warm days, 80s and 90s for sure, during the summertime, so you will always have that constant shade. This is a neighborhood when my family and I go to Bush Pasture Park that we also take the time to actually walk through the neighborhoods because, again, of that storybook charm that this neighborhood offers that is just so unique. And we absolutely just love looking at the old style homes, the different unique characteristics. And what I absolutely love about a lot of these homes is the large front porches where people just kind of hang out, sip their coffee and tea, maybe a glass of wine, and just kind of enjoy the neighborhood for what it offers. Another unique characteristic about this neighborhood is that history actually lives right here in this neighborhood, and you just don't walk past it, you can actually walk inside and experience it. In addition to the old historic homes that we have here in this neighborhood, right in the center of Bush Pasture Park is the historic Bush House Museum. Built in 1878 with Italian architecture, furnished with the original family pieces, it serves as a window into Salem's late 19th century lifestyle. This house, which is open for tours, also has grounds that include the conservatory and an art center. This historic home acts as an anchor for the cultural identity for this neighborhood. Now, adjacent to the Bush Pasture Park and this historic home is something called the Deepwood Estates. And I want to mention this, even though it's not technically part of that park, it is part of the historic charm that surrounds this particular neighborhood. Now, this is another historic home where you can actually rent out the facilities. You can have weddings and other types of events there in their beautiful rose garden. Within the walls of this museum, you can also learn a lot about the history of Salem. And as I mentioned, they are open to having events. They even do community events throughout the year, including a nice Halloween event. So for history lovers like myself, having the Deepwood Estates and the Bush home right in the same vicinity and right in the same neighborhood is something really special. And again, it just adds to that storybook feel and the charm of this neighborhood. As a reminder, I'm Dave Fine with the Real Estate Dads at eXp Realty, a local real estate agent right here in Salem, Oregon, who loves helping people move to relocate to the city of Salem and the surrounding area. So if that is you, make sure you're hitting me up at the contact information popping up or in the description. Also, if you want more videos like this, learning about different neighborhoods or the lifestyle in Salem, hit up my channel, subscribe to the channel to get more videos, hit the like button to get this video out to more people like yourselves. Also, comment below. Would like to hear any of your questions or concerns about this particular neighborhood, the Bush Pasture Park area, or other parts of Salem. Now let's talk about the true anchor of this neighborhood and a lot of reasons why people from other neighborhoods come into the area, and that is the Bush Pasture Park itself, right in the heart of this beautiful neighborhood. Now, we've talked a lot about the appeal of the charming homes, the Craftsman colonials, the history that is here, that is so appealing to many people moving to Salem, Oregon. And now we're going to focus on the park itself because it is something to be talked about for sure. My family and I come here often for many events throughout the year, but we also come here just to enjoy the peace and quiet right in the heart of the city. And it's something that we do, and then we just head on over about a mile or less to the downtown area and enjoy our time there as well. Bush Pasture Park is 90 acres right in the heart of the neighborhood. Now think about that, having a 90-acre park right in your doorsteps, right in your backyard of your own neighborhood. It has rose gardens with over 2,000 rose bushes, popular places for weddings, and a lot of really cool photography and other events. There's sports and recreation here with tennis courts, softball fields. They even have a soapbox derby track, which is really cool. There's also a number of trails and walking paths that will take you under beautiful, magnificent oak groves. There's also a lot of trails and walking paths that will take you under some magnificent, beautiful oak groves. There's a trail that runs right along Pringle Creek, so you get that nice flow of water that you can just kind of relax. There's benches throughout that you can just sit, look at the squirrels, look at the wildlife, feel the breeze, be under the shade, watch the creek run. And speaking of running, you see lots of people who live in this neighborhood that use this park for running along its paths and trails, people walking, people exercising in the park, people taking their dogs throughout the park. Very popular for dogs. Not an off-leash dog park, but again, just a great space to walk your pets, especially during those hot summer days where you're covered in shade. There's also a massive open grass space area for people just to kind of hang out, have picnics, put up their own little sports courts and have a little fun there. And I should mention there is a nice playground here to bring your kids to enjoy as well. The park has also become a cultural hub. This is where we have the annual Summer Art Festival that happens here in September that brings in thousands of people, where there's art, music, food, and just a great place, a great vibe, a good community event. And there are so many other events that occur here throughout the year, and that people who live in the neighborhood can fully take advantage of having it right in your own backyard. And as I mentioned, we don't necessarily live in this particular part of the neighborhood, but we come here often to enjoy all of the amenities at this park. So after a Saturday morning enjoying the rose garden or walking the trails, where do you go? And the answer is, it's just a short stroll away. And that is our charming downtown area. And again, this is one of the appeals that we have here in the Bush Pasture Park neighborhood, is just how close you are to this downtown Salem neighborhood. What I also enjoy about the journey from the neighborhood to the downtown area is that there are peaceful, quiet streets where you're walking by more parks, more nature, and a creek. So it just blends right into the downtown area. And for me, I love the downtown spots. Some of my favorite restaurants are over there. I get to my favorite coffee spots are there. So if you're in the Bush Pasture Park and you want to get some brunch after being in the park, you can easily get there and enjoy many of the restaurants that we have there, or take a nice evening stroll during the summer and have a nice meal and dinner over at some of the best restaurants that we have here in Salem in the downtown area. And of course, we've got some dessert spots in the downtown area, ice cream, candy, pastries, other sweet shops. So all of that is within a short walk, bike ride, or a quick drive right from your neighborhood, right from your doorstep. Also adjacent to the neighborhood is the main branch of the public library. So if you have little ones, young kids that like storybook time, or you just want to take them to the library for some quiet time, indoor time during those rainy days or hot summer days, it's just a few blocks away. Or someone like myself who just likes to go to the library and explore, maybe for some of the events and speakers that they have there, again, you are super close to that as well. Also, another benefit for this neighborhood is that you are just a stone's throw away from a lot of professional services along Liberty Street, which is adjacent to this neighborhood. So if you're in need of any type of legal services, medical services, architectural services, they also have chiropractic services and more, again, just right in your own backyard adjacent to your neighborhood. I should also mention in this lifestyle section that there is just a strong sense of community within this neighborhood. A lot of people volunteer at the events at the park, and you'll see a lot of the same faces. You'll see your neighbors walking throughout the park, whether it's with their families or taking a nice stroll or with their pets. You just see people really rally around this neighborhood and truly love it. And that's why a lot of people live here for such a long time, and you've got a lot of long-term residents. There is some pride that comes with this neighborhood because as being part of this historic area, there's a definite pride when living in this community, and you see it throughout. Now, I should mention also, many of the streets here, many of the homes are part of the historic registry, so there are some rules and regulations when it comes to owning these homes and what you can and cannot do when living and owning these houses. So just be aware of that. I can go into more details if you reach out to me and lead you and guide you on how that all works. However, those restrictions are also a benefit to the neighborhood because it keeps that storybook charm that is so unique to the neighborhood, and keeping those bungalow style, craftsman style, Queen Anne, colonial revivals, so you don't have a lot of contemporary or modern homes coming in and changing that feel and that sense of pride in that neighborhood. Now, at this point in the video, you may be thinking this neighborhood is absolutely for you. However, you want to know how much it costs to buy a house here. Now, I've helped a lot of clients come through this neighborhood who absolutely love it for a historic charm, but also know it comes at a little bit of a price tag because of it. This neighborhood is highly desirable and very competitive, especially for homes that have been very well maintained and updated on the inside. Now, before I go forward, if you want more detailed analysis of this particular neighborhood, make sure you hit me up at the contact information below. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to go over kind of 3 price ranges to expect in this particular neighborhood. For the smaller historic cottages that need some fixing, you can expect to pay between $350,000 and $450,000. Now, if you find an updated 3 to 4 bedroom home, you can expect to pay around $500,000 to $750,000. And for those large restored historic homes, expect to pay $900,000 to $1 million plus. People that are buying homes in this neighborhood are drawn to the heritage, the character, and the central location. So you can see that the prices do vary considerably, and it really depends on the size of the home and the condition of the home. Now, you can say that for any type of neighborhood, but it really does matter in this particular neighborhood because of the historic character and charm of these homes, and also the cost that you can incur when restoring these types of homes. Now, this leads us to the next section, and these are things that you should consider before buying a home and moving to the Bush Pasture Park neighborhood. And I kind of already alluded to one of those considerations, and that is the cost of living here in the neighborhood. Not so much the price to buy a home, but just the restoration of homes. So if you're someone that's looking to buy one of those homes that need fixing, that it's a fixer-upper, it may cost you more to renovate because you have to keep in consideration the historic characteristics of the home. And now that leads me to the other thing you need to consider is that a lot of these streets, a lot of these homes are part of the historic district, which have restrictions. And again, for more details, I can guide you to the right section to look for yourself, and I can certainly have those conversations with you. But just know that there are certain restrictions so you can uphold the characteristics of the home for that particular period of time that the home was built in. But again, on the flip side, the positive side is that because of the restrictions, it keeps the character all congruent within the community, so the neighborhood has that same feel, that same storybook feel. The other things you want to consider when buying homes here is that because of the old style homes, they weren't built like they are now with that open floor plan. They're more compartmentalized. The rooms tend to be a little bit smaller, and a lot of the homes in general are a little bit smaller. So just be ready for that when looking at homes here. Also, the lot sizes tend to be a bit smaller, and you're a little bit closer to your neighbor, so don't expect large backyards or large front yards, and also expect that you're a little bit closer to your neighbors than you would be in some of the other parts of the neighborhood and other parts of Salem. And that's just, again, because how properties were built out in the early 1900s. The other thing you need to consider when moving to this neighborhood is that you pretty much are in the heart of the action for Salem. Now, again, we are not a large city, so you don't have to worry about anything that you would experience in the heart of Portland or Los Angeles, Phoenix, or whatever big city that you may be currently living in that you'd be moving from. This is very different. We're much slower vibe here, but still, because you're adjacent to downtown and you have Commercial Street, Liberty Street right next to you, you've got Mission running on one side of you and 12th. These are all big streets that people utilize throughout the day during their commutes to work or just to get in and around the city. It's very heavily trafficked areas, and so you may feel that rush or that kind of that buzz or vibe that you would in kind of any downtownish type neighborhood, as opposed to if you lived in West Salem, parts of South Salem, you would feel a little bit more away from it all, kind of more of the peace and the quiet. So it really depends on what you're looking for. If you want to feel away from it, a little breath of fresh air, quieter, big space, then Bush Pasture Park is not going to be right for you. But if you love the historic charm and the value to that, and being centrally located and really close to the downtown area and being part of that buzz and vibe of the city, then this neighborhood is absolutely the right spot for you. I think I said city, I meant this neighborhood is the right spot for you in the city. The other thing you need to consider is that because there are a lot of events at Bush Pasture Park, also it is home to the Willamette Valley baseball field and track. That's kind of adjacent or part of that park area, that you're going to have a lot of people from outside of the neighborhood coming in for those events. So it could feel a little bit more congested during those weekends or during those times. And so just be prepared for that as well. Again, if that's something that would bother you, or you think you'd be tired of easily, then you may want to reconsider this particular neighborhood. But again, as much as I say there's a lot of events throughout the year, and the Willamette University does have a role here in the neighborhood as well, it's not like it's every single weekend, and it's probably not going to feel overwhelming, but just to have some sort of consideration for that, where you may hear some of the buzz from the event or the crowds from the games or the track events. You're going to have more cars coming through the neighborhood. Just be ready to have that experience as well. Also, you have South Salem High School, which is really adjacent to this neighborhood or part of the neighborhood as well. So you could get some of the school traffic drop off and pick up when the school ends for the day. And so just know that during those periods of time, you will have more cars frequenting some of the streets, especially High Street, which is one of the major streets that run through the neighborhood. So just be prepared for that as well. But for those that choose this neighborhood, there are many positives that outweigh a lot of those considerations, with the historic homes, the cultural richness, the central location, and just the overall community vibe, and especially having the so much green space as part of your neighborhood, whether it's the tree-lined streets, the old growth trees, the oak groves, the 90-acre park right in the heart of your neighborhood, and some adjacent smaller parks as well. It is really unmatched and unrivaled when you compare it to other parts of Salem. So if you are thinking about making the move to Salem, Oregon, or the surrounding areas, make sure you hit me up at the contact information popping up below or in the description. As a reminder, I'm Dave Fine with the Real Estate Dads at eXp Realty, local real estate agent. I've relocated here myself, so I understand what that process feels like. Again, hit the like button to get this video out to more people who are like yourselves thinking about making the move to Salem. Subscribe to this channel to get more awesome videos like this one, to learn about the lifestyles and the different neighborhoods. And of course, comment below for any questions that you may have as well. Thank you.